Thrones fans, it's me, Anna.
I'm Mark.
And today we are watching Season 6, Episode 4, The Book of the Stranger of Game of Thrones.
Of Game of Thrones.
Book of the Stranger. Isn't the Stranger like the Grim Reaper guy?
From all those?
Yeah.
I do believe you're right.
I'm pretty sure it's the Grim Reaper kind. I don't know.
Of the seven...
Mm-hmm. I know I mentioned it in the history and lore, like, when Jaqen was explaining the many-faced guy, like, he is the stranger. I know he mentioned something about the stranger.
We did just watch the last episode probably an hour and a half ago. We had dinner, and we're doing one more episode today. We had a snow day, so we wanted to get a few extra videos in. Yes, it is April 4th, and we had a snow day because we got like 9 inches of snow last night.
Welcome to northern Michigan.
So, the dream of spring is still there.
You know what? My question is, it's April 4th. We just got snowed like a lot. We just got a lot of snow. It should be spring.
Mm-hmm.
Not that I'm complaining, but like, what happened to global warming?
We're in the long winter.
Yeah.
Apparently. Alright, we're just going to throw out the scenes just to do a little refresh. We had the Jenny Fives Alive scene. Gilly and Sam were heading south.
Yeah, Sam was getting seasick.
Yep.
And Gilly called baby Sam the father of my son.
Yep.
Which is...
Called Sam the father of.
Yeah. Which, I mean, is incorrect, but...
It's
like
not necessarily. You can adopt and be the real father, though.
True. Which I guess is kind of...
Kind of what's
what
going
Sam
on in
did.
that little relationship. Okay, then we had Bran's vision.
With...
Ned and Howland Reed and Sir Arthur Dane.
And I just always thought that the tower that Lyanna was kept in was in King's Landing. That was in the middle of nowhere.
What tower? I don't know if it's a spoiler if I tell you what tower it is or not.
It's the tower.
Well, I know what the tower is because I've seen the show, but I don't know if it's been mentioned in the series. I don't think it has, so I can't tell you what tower it is.
Didn't mention it in the book, and if it did,
Or
I
did
don't
it
remember
mention
it.
it in the history and lores? I know we've watched all those.
I don't know. It mentioned something about tower that Lyanna was kept in,
In
but
the
I
book.
don't think it specified the name.
Oh, okay. Alright, so I'm not going to say the name. I'll just pull the I don't know card.
Really?
Yep. We had Danny getting Viasto Thrak. She seems to be stuck there for the moment.
For the moment?
Yep. We had Varys getting info from the Sons of the Harpy Girl. Vala. We had Tyrion wanting to play drinking games.
Yep, with 2 people that don't drink.
We had Qyburn basically inheriting Varys' little birds, the little spies.
Yes, the kids. Bribing them with candy. Great way to go.
Yep. Tommen and the High Sparrow had a nice little conversation. Tommen started up pretty harsh.
Yep.
And by the end of that conversation, he didn't really get what he wanted.
No. Which was to let Cersei see Miss Marcella.
One of the mem names.
Those M names that just keep coming back. Yeah.
We had
Your final resting place.
the Bravo scenes with Arya.
Mm-hmm.
And she can see. Yes, she can.
She was blind for like 2, 3, 4 days at the most.
Well, you never know the time frame of Game of Thrones because you can have a long time period in between scenes,
True.
And they don't necessarily tell you how much time has passed. I think we've talked about this in the past and how everything lines up. I'd love to actually see a timeline from when all the events happened, how they line up.
Mhm.
It would be kind of interesting. Because when was it? It was
after Tywin's death.
Yeah, it was after Tywin's death. Because in the
Because it was
same
like
episode they had all the
within a
Tywin funeral stuff.
And
In the
then-
previous episode, the dragons were a lot smaller, and then all of a sudden they were a lot bigger.
Mhm.
Next episode. So the different storylines were on different timelines also.
Yep.
So it would be cool to see a overall timeline for this entire series, though.
Yep.
So Arya can see, so that's good. Then we got a Winterfell.
Winterfell.
Lord Umber turned.
Mhm.
And turned in Rickon and Osha.
Yep.
And Shaggy Dog.
Killed Shaggy Dog.
So Ramsay now has Rickon.
Mhm.
And then we had Jon hanging the mutineers.
Mhm.
So that was the entire episode. Anything you want to bring up prior to hit and play on this thing? Talk about questions? Maybe I can answer them, maybe I can't.
Nope.
Nope, it was ready for the
Well,
episode?
I mean,
or-
there's the question that you probably could answer, but you probably won't answer.
Well, ask it, I'll let you know.
What did John mean by his watch has ended?
Exactly what he said. That's what he meant. I am not lying either. It is exactly what he meant.
Okay.
Okay?
What's he gonna do now?
What's he gonna do? Now that I cannot tell you. But I will say what he said. He said it, and he said it for a reason.
Okay, what was his reason for saying it?
Maybe we'll find out in this episode. Alright, well, I'm gonna hit play before I get beat up with her eyes.
I left a sword. I didn't.
Where are you gonna go?
Just ask that.
What are you gonna do? Get warm? I was with you at Hardhome. We saw what's out there. We know it's coming here.
Yep.
How can you leave us now?
I did everything I could, you know.
You swore a vow.
I pledged my life to the Night's Watch. I gave my life.
For all nights to
They
come.
killed me, Ed, my own brothers. You want me to stay here after that?
One.
Open the gate!
Sansa. Finally! Yes! I've been waiting for this since like episode 2. Dude, this is literally the last time Sansa ever saw family was episode 9. And last time Jon ever saw family was episode 2. That was years ago. Well, for them. And at that point, Sansa didn't necessarily... Well, she didn't necessarily love Jon, but she didn't dislike Jon.
It's still family.
Yeah.
We never should have left Winterfell.
Don't you wish we could go back to the day we left? I want to scream at myself, don't go, you idiot.
How could we know?
I spent a lot of time thinking about what an ass I was to you. I wish I could change everything.
We were children.
I was awful, just admit it.
You were occasionally awful. I'm sure I can't have been grateful and always sulking in the corner while the rest of you played.
Can you forgive me?
There's nothing to forgive.
Forgive me.
Alright. Alright, I forgive you.
Where will you go?
Where will we go? If I don't watch over you, Father's ghost will come back and murder me.
Where will we go?
Can't stay here, not after what happened.
There's only one place we can go. Home. It's ours. And Arya's and Bran's and Rickon's, wherever they are, it belongs to our family. We have to fight for it.
I'm tired of fighting. It's all I've done since I left home. I've killed brothers of the Night's Watch. I've killed wildlings. I've killed men that I admire. I hanged a boy, younger than Bran. I fought. And I lost.
Then start a new fight.
If we don't take back the North, we'll never be safe. I want you to help me. But I'll do it myself if I have to.
You serve Jon Snow now.
He's the prince that was promised.
The prince that was promised.
Forgive me, my lady, I thought that was Stannis. And Shireen, what happened to the princess?
I saw what happened.
What?
I saw Stannis' forces defeated in the field.
My lady, I'm Sir Davos
We've
Seaworth.
met before. I was Kingsguard to Renly Baratheon. Before Renly was assassinated with blood magic.
That's in the past now.
This
And
is
to
the
see the
past.
tension.
Doesn't mean I forget. Or forgive. He admitted it, you know.
Tension.
Who did?
Stannis. Just before I executed him.
Executed. Just the tension. You know what? He needs a teacher. Maybe Marta. She's good enough. She can split an arrow in half with another arrow.
Winterfell. On our way to the Fingers, we were set upon by a large force of Bolton men. We seemed to know exactly when we were travelling and exactly whom we were transporting.
Do you take me for a fool?
Tell me, Lord Royce, how many people knew of my travel plans with Sansa Stark? I shared my intentions with you, and no one else.
Slander a man in his own home, you might find yourself crossing swords.
Should we throw it through the moon to him?
My lord, I have always been faithful to House Arryn, to your father, to your mother, and now to you.
Lord Royce has served the Vale well. He's enjoyed a distinguished military career. If we could trust his absolute loyalty, he would make a capable commander in the wars to come.
You can't trust my absolute loyalty, my lord.
I think he deserves one more chance. What do you say? Fine.
She's my cousin.
We should help. That was my instinct as well.
Seriously.
Our Lord has spoken. Gather the Knights of the Vale. The time has come to join the fray.
You should.
How many days were you asleep?
Long enough to know.
Not long enough to understand.
We came here to meet the Queen, and instead we're greeted by a dwarf and a eunuch.
Let's make this simple, shall we? Tell me what you want.
We want you to leave Slaver's Bay. Take your dragons and your mercenaries and go.
Mercenaries.
won't stay in Marine forever.
Second sons.
Takes her westward.
When we last met, I offered her ships so she could return to Westeros where she belongs. She refused them.
She refused them because hundreds of thousands of men, women, and children still lived in chains.
As they have since the dawn of time.
Not anymore.
Not
you
true.
think you're a free man now? You still follow orders. Just because your master has silver hair and tits doesn't mean she's not.
There haven't been slaves in Westeros for hundreds of years, and I grew up richer than any of you. But our queen recognizes that she erred by abolishing slavery without providing a new system to replace it. So, here is the queen's proposal. Slavery will never return to Marine, but she will give the other cities of Slavers Bay time to adjust to the new order.
What does that mean?
Instead of abolishing slavery overnight, we will give you 7 years to end the practice.
7 years.
You will not receive a better offer. Give freedom a chance. See if it doesn't taste every bit as good as what came before. Until she returns from her travel.
When does she return?
Soon. You have my word.
Ju är Silvia vala mera i förtrödas. Verdi gelisk ilvi krenuntosi. Do ilvira gerosi.
You're right. Slavery is a horror that should be ended at once. War is a horror that should be ended at once. I can't do both today.
You are wrong to trust these men.
Don't trust the masters. I trust their self-interest. They're trustworthy if they're convinced that working with me is in their self-interest.
You will not use them. They will use you. That is what they do.
Oh, I don't want to fight you during the handle. What do I have to gain? If I win, I'm the shit who killed an old man. If I lose, I'm the shit who was killed by an old man.
You didn't get much discipline as a child, did you?
None.
That's where they'll have taken her. The Temple of the Doshkari.
Which is right in the center.
Mm-hmm.
Very attached to this life.
Ah, yes, the hole in his shirt.
Don't worry. It didn't touch you.
You know what happens?
I know what happens.
Sawafi.
Why?
Jackie Vice and Anisha. أنا فجأة شاكي أوبري أفج بين الناس على يسيرهم.
Yeri voshteraki.
Alles ist natürlich.
Like I said, what's your problem? See? He's fighting. Uh-uh. He brought the dagger.
You didn't think Dario was going to leave that, did you?
Nope.
Told you. Very attached to this knife.
What? Smashing it.
They don't want anybody to, look for a stab wound.
True.
Vos očio kak to trkaje voseči.
Es interesting.
Ani se geri jashoša. Jesu si vašrari. Mori vašrari. Mori sam vraš kašgal je drivo.
Shitachzi.
Me hajama me podrivo.
Sek na raja. Hash mi shivla senja vorsi skora. Mori su taki borsasi.
Sekashe. Hash mi yarati ha. Shehashe.
Ana doshale. Ana was me kwaje do strek wyseci, was me na skoju wykaże na drywok.
No! Don't hurt her!
Get us away. We have to go now.
We will never get out of Face Dothrak alive.
All we can do is try.
We can do more than that. And you're going to help me. Maya. Askoya nishe kalisi. Maya askoya.
Unless they just take her with them. And she did want to see the dragons.
Yeah.
And when one day you walked through a graveyard and realized it was all for nothing and set out on the path to righteousness. Look at the stranger, verse 25.
You know the seven-pointed star?
Saturnality. So what did you do?
I left to go and find them. I didn't even put on my shoes. I walked out the door and never went back. Come, let's go and see him.
Who?
Your brother.